The Peninsular Plateau, Part 1. The Peninsular Plateau is a tableland composed of the old crystalline, igneous, and metamorphic rocks. It was formed due to the breaking and drifting of the Gondwana land, thus making it a part of the oldest landmass. The plateau has broad and shallow valleys and rounded hills. This plateau consists of two broad divisions, namely the Central Highlands and the Deccan Plateau. The part of the Peninsular Plateau lying to the north of the Narmada River, covering a major area of the Malwa Plateau, is known as the Central Highlands. The Vindhya Range is bounded by the Central Highlands on the south and the Arawalis on the northwest. The further westward extension gradually merges with the sandy and rocky desert of Rajasthan. The flow of the rivers draining this region, namely the Chambal, the Sindh, the Betwa, and Kain, is from southwest to northeast, thus indicating the slope. The Central Highlands are wider in the west but narrower in the east. The eastward extensions of this plateau are locally known as Bundelkhand and Bagelkhand. The Chota Nagpur Plateau marks the further eastward extension drained by the Damodar River. The Deccan Plateau is a triangular mass that lies to the south of the river Narmada. The Satpura Range flanks its broad base in the north, while the Mahadev, the Kaimur Hills, and the Maikal Range form its eastern extensions. The Deccan Plateau is higher in the west and slopes gently eastwards. An extension of the plateau is also visible in the northeast, locally known as the Meghalaya and Karbi Anglong Plateau. It is separated by a fault from the Chota Nagpur Plateau. Three prominent hill ranges from the west to east are the Garo, the Khasi, and the Jaintia Hills. The Peninsular Plateau, Part 2. The Western Ghats and the Eastern Ghats mark the western and the eastern edges of the Deccan Plateau respectively. Western Ghats lie parallel to the western coast. They are continuous and can be crossed through passes only. The Western Ghats are higher than the Eastern Ghats. Their average elevation is 900 to 1600 meters as against 600 meters of the Eastern Ghats. The Eastern Ghats stretch from the Mahanadi Valley to the Nilgiris in the south. The Eastern Ghats are discontinuous and irregular and dissected by rivers draining into the Bay of Bengal. The Western Ghats cause orographic rain by facing the rain-bearing moist winds to rise along the western slopes of the Ghats. The Western Ghats are known by different local names. The height of the Western Ghats progressively increases from north to south. The highest peaks include the Anamudi, 2,695 meters, and the Doda Betta, 2,637 meters. Mahendragiri, 1,501 meters, is the highest peak in the Eastern Ghats. Arawali Hills and the Arawali Hills are located to the southeast of the Eastern Ghats. The famous hill stations of Udagamandalam, popularly known as Ooty, and the Kodaikanal. One of the distinct features of the Peninsular Plateau is the black soil area known as the Deccan Trap. This is of volcanic origin, hence the rocks are igneous. Actually, these rocks have denuded over time and are responsible for the formation of black soil. The Arawali Hills lie on the western and northwestern margins of the Peninsular Plateau. These are highly eroded hills and are found as broken hills. They extend from Gujarat to Delhi in a southwest-northeast direction.